Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a tutorial for you on how I made this box, and some of you have seen my previous videos where I gave some of these rolling pins out as a rack, and what I did was I added some dangles to it. I have a couple of charms here, and I have this little bead here. It's about 6 millimeters, and you guys can get these from Hobby Lobby whenever they're available. I don't think they're available now. This was for Valentine's. But I was asked to do a tutorial on how I created this box to house the rolling pin. So that's what I'm gonna do for you today. And these are a couple more boxes that I made. This one, I used some red paper to match the red handle on the rolling pin. And I just used some of the Maggie Holmes Garden Party paper to do matte layers on the sides. And what I did was I used some of my ruffle folds that I created. I did a tutorial on these for you guys a little while back. And I doubled it up with some paper from Doodlebug collection. This is Made with Love, I believe. It's a baking collection, and so I used some of the ephemera and papers from that collection to embellish one side. It's really easy to make. I have some of this Dollar Tree tool here as well. And like I said, it's easy to make, and so I'm going to show you how to make this. So there's this one, and then there's this one here, also made with the Doodlebug collection, and it is really cute. I love the way this turned out. I did a simple basic decorating on this, just used some of the ephemera pieces and a couple of other embellishments. And you don't only have to put a rolling pin in here, you can also put other things in here, like this piece right here. I just loaded this box up with all of these. Of course it doesn't match this collection, but these are some of the ruffles that I had embossed and folded. So these, you can give these or anything else you want. These are just some of the ones. This one isn't completed yet. I just need to glue some of these down still. But yeah, so these will also fit in this box, and as you can see, this is quite a bit. This is quite a bit that fits in this box. The finished measurements of this box are 7 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, so let me show you how I came to this dimensions. So first you want to measure your item, and when I put it up here, this measures about 7 1/8 inch. It's just a little over 7 inches. And then to get the width of it without the beads, it is about 1 inch. Okay, so with the beads, once you put the beads on there, it's going to be about 1/4 inch larger. To make space, you need to give an allowance for space for if you're going to hang something off the edge of this. If you're not, then you can just do it down to 1 inch if you want to. Okay, had a phone call, sorry about that. Now where was I? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you what you need in order to create this. Okay, so you're going to need your scoreboard, of course. I have some tools off to the side here, my stylus, my bone folder. This is my circle punch. You'll need that to do the thumb notch on the box. That is this area right here. So you'll need this for that. And I have a pair of scissors, and then I have my Crop-A-Dile corner rounder, so I'll be using this. And of course you're gonna need your paper. So you can use an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper to cut this down to 6.5 by 11. And then I have my matte pieces here. They are 7 inches by 1 1/4 inch. Okay, and you'll need 4 of those. And then for the top flap of the box, this part right here, this is 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch, and you'll only need to have 1. Okay, so I'm going to put these off to the side here. And you can use whatever adhesive you want. I will be using the Bearly Arts glue and my hot glue gun as well. So let's get started. Let's take our stylus here, and we're going to score this on the 6.5 side at 1 1/2, at 3, at 4 1/2, and 6. Okay, so that's 1 1/2, 3, 4 1/2, and 6. Then you're going to rotate your cardstock clockwise, and you're going to score at 1 1/2, 8 3/4 and at 10 1/4. Okay, so that's 1 1/2, 8 3/4, 10 1/4. All right, so that's all we need our scoreboard for. I'm gonna put this away. Okay, so this is going to be your top part here where you see the 2 score lines, and this is the bottom where there's only 1 score line. I'm gonna X out the areas where we're gonna cut the pieces out. So at the top, this is the first score line here. We're going to X this, 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 and this. Now on this section here, which is the second section right here, about 1/3 of the way down from that first score line, just draw a line. It could be a dashed line. Skip this and then draw another one. Okay, and then we're going to X out this section and this section, and at the bottom we're going to X out this section right here. Okay, so we're going to cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, and cut this out. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to speed up the camera and we'll see how this looks when I'm done. Okay, so now we're going to cut up each one of these score lines to that first score line, and then we're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. Okay, so that's what you should have when you're done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to round the corners on this long side. This is your flap. So that's what you have. Okay, so at this point we're going to put on our pieces here. And I'm going to be using my Bearly Arts glue for that. Okay, so when you're ready to put the box together, just do a dry fit. And that's how it's going to come together. But first, before we do that, I'm going to go and put a notch right here for the thumb before I close up the box. It's really important to do it at this point because if you try and do it after that, this will not fit. So I'm going to pop that bottom off, and this is the one that we want here. So I'm just going to fold those back so I don't have a problem getting this in. And I'm going to try and center it as best I can on here. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to glue this down. So just open that up and fold it to there. Just fold it over once. And we're going to apply glue to this piece here, this connecting piece. And then we're going to take this right piece and fold it over. Okay, so what I do next is to make it easy for me to fold these flaps at the bottom. For those of you who are new to making boxes, what I would do is I would mark one, so I know that this is the first flap that's going to go down, and then 2, and then 3, and then on this flap here, since it's like the front of the box, you want to have a clean finish. So don't put the 4 on the outside, do it on the inside, and do 4. So then when you glue it, you know you're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have a nice clean finish on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun to do that. Oh, by the way, forgot to do this step. Let's miter these little flaps here. You want to do this part when you're making all of your cuts. And there is your simple box. And you can decorate this anyhow you want to. Let's make sure that the rolling pin does fit. There you go. Not much shaking around. Okay, you guys, so there it is. There's the boxes. Really simple, really basic. You can put anything you want in here. I hope this helped. For those of you who want to try this, please go ahead and tag me if you do. I'd love to see what you create. This is a really fun one. It's really easy to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. All right, take care. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye, everyone.